the sustainability we have already discussed by our predecessor. That sustainability is a major three perspectives. One is economical, one is social, and one is financial. So the economical perspective may be the industrial development numbers, but we need to see beyond this economical perspective, the social perspective, the inclusiveness, the whichever development is taking place in this area, the inclusiveness, the social inclusion, the person in the last line should be included in this development process. This is more important in the perspective of sustainability. Whatever we have got for 17 SDG goals, sustainability development goals, the development here are three-pronged approach in the economic, social, and environmental. So we need to include that social inclusion, whatever development is happening in this ADDA area, that needs to be a socially inclusive, the inclusive in the last line of the person, and it should be environmentally developed. The technology we will be using for this development, industrial development in this region, that should be environmentally superior, that should be compliant to our transformative agenda of net zero by 2030. And more importantly, the pollution equipment in these industries should be mandatory, not auxiliary. The production should be linked with the environmental pollution equipment on the mandatory basis, not an auxiliary basis. We often see that the production takes the first preference and the pollution control equipment take the last preference. Like this, we have seen the safety car in the development in the safety consciousness. There are several cars which is stopped after 5 minutes if you are not putting your seat belt in the position. So this is a safety compliant feature. So we need the industrial development in this region which is an environmentally compliant features, which put the environmental pollution equipment in the mandatory features, and it should be socially inclusive. So I will hand it over to our valued speakers, Mr. Sudeep Bhattacharya. Thank you, sir. Please take it.
Mr. Bhattacharya is Environmental Engineer in charge, Asansol Region, WBECB. Mr. Bhattacharya.
Good morning, everybody. My previous speaker, they have already mentioned regarding the ecological sustainability and the types of sustainability. So I will not go in details of this chapter. On behalf of Pollution Control Board, I would like to highlight the salient features what Pollution Control Board is thinking and what initiatives we are taking. Asansol Durgapur Industrial Region is very important in Eastern India, and the prime environmental concern of this area is large-scale coal mining, coal extraction, and burning of coal for various industrial activities, which pollutes the city more compared to the other cities. Density of particulate matter, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide is gradually increasing and posing threats to the inhabitants with different health hazards. Various initiatives like active waste management, recirculation, installation of efficient effluent treatment plant, emission control system are the key requirements for minimizing the degradation of the environment. And on behalf of West Bengal Pollution Control Board, we have made an extensive ambient air quality network already 87 ambient air quality stations are operating in West Bengal. In Asansol, 2 are running and 2 will be coming soon. Apart from this, there are 8 sensor-based stations and 7 manual stations, and we are monitoring the ambient air quality and meteorological parameters on regular basis. And to accelerate the adoption of clean fuel, we are distributing free of cost to the roadside eateries, dhabas and garment pressures, smokeless chullas, which contribute less pollution in the atmosphere. Apart from this, like previous year, with the help of industries and urban local bodies, we have engaged water sprinkling vehicles to the busy roads of the towns to arrest air pollution due to flying of road dust in particular winter season. Apart from this, for plastic waste management, very frequently we are conducting raids in marketplaces as well as the manufacturing industries to ban the restricted plastic products. Various awareness programs are being organized regarding air pollution, noise pollution and single-use plastic. Very recently, we have deployed 3 drones for sensing air pollution in the hotspot areas. And being the state nodal agency, we encourage to all the individuals and to the community to adopt some good habits, including and to modify their lifestyle activities, that is environmentally conscious activities, so that our environmental quality is improved. And on behalf of West Bengal Pollution Control Board, we appeal to all to maintain to the industries and the stakeholders to maintain the different environmental norms. With this, I once again thank you all. Thank you.
The measures we are taking in the Asansol region on the behalf of WBPCB. Now, I will be requesting Mr. Mrityunjay Kumar, General Manager, Environment and Forest, Eastern Coalfield Limited, and Mr. Soumabho Chakraborty, Manager, Environment, Eastern Coalfield Limited, to place their views in the subject.
Good afternoon to all of you. First of all, my respect to the people on the dais and off the dais, and my colleagues from different industries, ladies, gentlemen, and press and media. It's really a great opportunity that we have assembled here for discussing on environmental issues, or particularly the sustainability. The core of the sustainability is the finance, society, and the environment. The environment is the first. And ECL, in fact, is doing many things in this field silently and in the very large area. ECL has set up a sustainable development cell itself is existing in this company, who is taking care of the sustainable activities. The sustainable activities are focused just towards the circular economy by reducing our waste generation or utilizing the waste to our best. First, we are destroying the land, but we are at the same time reclaiming the land with a large tree plantation and creating afforestation areas. One of the things in the mining field, we used to do mine and take out the pumped out mine water outside. We are utilizing mine water. Almost 70-80% of the water is being utilized for our own purpose. It is not going into the waste. And remaining 30% has been offered to the state government they may take it and utilize it for the irrigation purpose in the area. The third thing, we are generating huge amount of overburden dump. Now we have started its conversion to the sand. It is a plant has been established, and other 6 locations we are planning to start a plant which will convert our overburden waste material to the sand, which will in turn reduce the aquatic environment, will not requiring sand from the river beds. We will try to make it from our own waste generated overburden dumps. To discuss more in more detail with me, Mr. Saumya Chakraborty, my fellow, he will explain the things on the PowerPoint presentation. Thank you.
Inherits a plethora of legacy mines, and with those mines have run for 2 centuries with draconian measures, which colonial British government has run the mine in a way most unsustainable way. But nowadays we are the custodian of those mines, and so we have to do we are trying our best to make it more sustainable as far as possible. So those sustainability measures adopted by ECL, now I am going to present. This is the brief history of ECL, where then this is the vision of ECL, that to emerge as a global player in the primary energy sector, committed to provide energy security to the country by attaining environmentally and socially sustainable growth through best practices from mine to market. This is the 5 key value propositions: excavation of transportation infrastructure improvement, improve ESG compliance and disclosure, manpower productivity to improve significantly, mechanization and closure of unsustainable mine to lower costs, and aim to net zero carbon emission, as it is the target of the country. So we are adopting towards it. This is the 3 major points towards sustainable development goal. So to pursue model of sustainable development in mining with 3 pillars of sustainability: economics, environment and society; to earn and maintain social license to operate showing sensitivity towards care for environment and society. Our roadmap for next 5 years for sustainable development in ECL. These are our plantation and reclamation measures. We have developed around 100 hectares per annum each year plantation. Till last 6 years, ECL have developed around 700 hectares by planting native species to the ecosystem. And the last year we have planted 160 hectare plantation in different mines of ECL. These are some glimpses of those pictures. Next, in the 2 or 3 are one of the having state-of-art facilities of ecological system. Jhanjra Eco Park, we are developing in the Jhanjra area, which is having around 13 hectares of land. Everything is there, and in the end part of this project is not yet completed. Change of landscape from a purely mining area to a lush greenery in that area. Benefiting 210,000 beneficiaries from 135 villages. Very huge contribution towards the society, as mine water is a byproduct of mining, and we are trying to use it in a more sustainable manner. These are the glimpses of dust substitution measures. Now we are planning the most updated dust substitution measures to be adopted in the region. so that it can be done in a most sustainable and holistic way. And obviously, this is for the compliance of our environmental and forestry clearance or the pollution control board norms. But apart from that, we are trying to give the best in this manner. In the next part, I will say about green energy initiative towards establishing a net zero company. We are installation of 32 number of solar power projects in Panoli. Now ECL is in process of replacing conventional ACs, motors and lights, switches, energy efficient ACs towards energy efficient ACs and LED lights, etc. to make it more carbon resilient and reduce its carbon footprint. This is a picture of our process to the plant where we converting our overburden material to M sand, which is now catering our only the need of sand stowing, but in the long run it may reduce the burden of river sand in this region, so that by this way we are going towards more circular economy. This is the vision of ACL for next 5 years. These are the points for approaches towards carbon resilient future. And lastly, and ton production around per year, which is 16,500 ton equivalent of CO2, and 13,16,566 ton CO2 equivalent. So it's our way that we are, as a coal producer, we are becoming net zero, but we know the coal, someday coal will be exchanged with other form of energy. That day we will be on the other side of the scenario. Thank you. This is my last word towards this.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am working as a senior general manager and head of the O&M in the Damodar Valley Corporation up to 2,340 megawatts at major thermal power stations. You see, the topic is very interesting. Before me, lot of the speakers has spoken various important things which is required for the ecological sustainability to maintain in our country. Why the ecological sustainability is required? Our chairman, honorable chairman, has also briefed on this topic. Actually, see, under the PATS Cycle 77, that is perform, achieve and trade, that is 13 industry now. Overall, a specific power consumption in this industry can be minimized so that the sustainable growth on the ecological system can be attained by basically, first of all, those industries are, first of all, thermal power station, steel power, cement, paper and pulp, petrochemicals, petroleum and coal industries, distribution and some of the buildings also. In power sector, you see the most pollutant industry depending upon the requirement of the power that we are generating as on date in our country maximum energy from the fossil fuel. The installed capacity in our country is annual rate of 4,26,000 megawatts, that is 426 gigawatts. Out of 426, that is, we are having the generating capacity of the 57.9% from the fossil fuel, and some of the from the diesel also, from the gaseous also, and rest is 179 gigawatts from the renewable energy. That includes also from the hydro, small and major hydro also. So you see, very interesting figure which I am mentioning for the sake of the knowledge. Most of us who are not belonging to the power sector may not know it. Actually, in the previous year, that is in the 2022-23, we have generated 1,624 billion units. That is overall 8.87% growth in comparison to the 21-22. Why? The power demand is growing day by day. In our country, every year we are adding more or less 8 to 9% growth as per the demand. But whatever we are generating from the fossil fuel, we don't have any option. As because in peak hours, that is supposed to peak hours, in the evening peak hours, the power demand surge like anything. Even though in the eastern region, we are having the installed capacity of 27,000 megawatt in comparison to the Gujarat and western region, that is Maharashtra, we are having the very less power consumption. That is why in the peak hour we are compelled to generate more and more. So as because in the peak hours, that is evening hours after 5 o'clock, what is happening, most of the solar power are not working condition until and unless there is no any sun ray. So this is the scenario, and the coal requirement, which is also growing day by day, that is 897 million metric ton coal India has produced in the last year. That is the growth of the more than 14% per year. So we all are generating, and the industrial growth is growing day by day at the cost of the human beings. Until we are talking, most of the speakers, eminent speakers has spoken rightly, that the carbon emission and carbon capture, we are talking about the carbon emission and carbon capture, but at what cost? Do you think that we are the developing country, our economic system shall be sustainable in the situation? I cannot say. It is not sustainable as on date in the present era. So, as a developing, most of the developed countries, America, Canada, and developing country, China, these are the most polluting countries. But the most important things in our country, that is more than 396% growth in the RE, that is renewable energy. No doubt in the days to come, that is the Glasgow summit, my chairman has also pointed out, which was held in UK in 2021, that is we are committed to reduce our 1 billion ton of the carbon by 2030, 45% of the projected carbon by 2030, and we are committed to attain 500 gigawatts from renewable energy by 2030 and net zero by 2070. You see, we shall come to the later on the slide how we are contributing and what are the major prospects in our country to pollute, and this is the major challenges in the ecological sustainability. You see, actually the major challenge to the environmental threat to the environment is the growing population. So as on date, the population is growing by leaps and bounds, and at the cost of the environment, we are going to construct the major threat to the growing population day by day. So as the population increases, definitely the requirement as per the growth of the population is needed. So I am basically a man from the power sector. So the two type of the pollutants, that is a primary and secondary. So power sector are responsible for both the primary and secondary pollutants. That is, the primary pollutant means the element or the pollutant which is being directly injected to the environment, that is in the nature, that is SOx, sulfur dioxide, nitrous oxide, some extent SPM level, that is carbon monoxide, carbon, methane, no production in the power sector, but this methane is being produced in the steel sector. So, and the secondary one is the byproduct of the primary product, that is after the SPM level, SO2 and NO2, that is SOx and NOx, that is converted into the acid rain, that is hydraulic acid, and H2SO4. We shall discuss it on later stage. Why ecological sustainability? Actually, see, in our area, we are staying in the state of the Bengal, and all over the country, the most polluted city is situated in the state of Bengal. Do you know anyone? The Howrah is supposed to be the most polluted city of our country. And green city is Indore. So what is the difference between Indore and Howrah? The only thing is the population. The population and the per capita income of the Indore is much better than the Howrah. But the difference is that we are not so much concerned about the ecological sustainability as they are concerned, as the MP is concerned. So we are coming to this slide. I have already told it. Yes. Actually, we are currently extending the planet with the compromising the ecological sustainability. And now ecological sustainability we have already discussed, that the environment, that is society, sustainability and economy, that is a major impact which is coming into the picture, that is efficient use of the water and the low carbon emission, that is we are also using the huge quantity of the water in the thermal power station. The government of India has defined that the water consumption is per megawatt every 3.5 meter cube, but we are using that amount of the water. So there is a provision to put the 100% recovery of the water, but we are not up to the technology is available, but that is not optimum level. We are not utilizing it to the optimum level. And so the whole of the approach to this sustainability, improved indoor environment quality, these are the things which are required for the ecological sustainability. And why ecological sustainability is required, that we all knowing, that is biodiversity preservation, that is resource conservation, that is climate change mitigation. Climate change, that we are injecting more and more carbon in the environment. And the pandemic is one of the basic reasons that what is happening, that is the most astonishing thing to know, that is at the face of the change of the temperature, the precipitation pattern is changing by day by day. Why the precipitation pattern is changing? The global warming is the main reason, and that's why in some part of the country there is less rain, and some part of the country where there is a huge rain is taking place, and it has never happened in the history of our country. Resource conservation, climate change mitigation also, human well-being, economic stability, social and cultural impact. And what are the impacts that is causing the loss to the biodiversity, that is acid, and I have already talked. Pollution also, deforestation and global warming. You see, the West Bengal Sundarban mangrove forest is one of the best example for the afforestation and giving us the very good rain in that region. And global warming we have already checked. The major polluting industries we have already mentioned, that is industry 21%, transportation, and some of the gaseous things which are coming into the atmosphere are also responsible for the environmental unsustainability also. So carbon neutrality we have already talked about, the 5 mantra given by the Honorable Prime Minister in the Glasgow Summit, and considerable effort required to achieve the ecological sustainability, that is development and implementation of the practices, moving to renewable energy, which we are working ahead. Chairman has already told that the Damodar Valley Corporation is committed to achieve around 2030 megawatt through the renewable energy, that is solar and floating solar. Tools of the ecological sustainability, risk management, that is life cycle analysis and precautionary precautions. Actually, in this area, the environmental impact assessment is being done. I am also a member of that one in this region of Damodar Valley Corporation. What is happening? That time to time, if the environmental impact assessment shall be carried out in a judicious manner, definitely the pollution level shall be reduced, and we can give some gift to the coming generation. Thank you.